I am so excited to be joined finally by Christy, singer-songwriter extraordinaire, who is all the way in Scotland, Glasgow. Is that
Glasgow,
correct?
yeah. Hi. Hello,
And
Lisa. It's my pleasure to be here.
why, thank you. And I have been enjoying all of your music, all of your videos that you've been posting up on things like Instagram, and you have Facebook and all sorts of different social media, right? And you've been active
Yeah.
on that, but you were just telling me before we started about how you've been a little lax. Why have you not been posting so much stuff recently?
So I suppose like last year was such a kind of mad year, wasn't it? Just for everyone. It's good that everyone can kind of understand when I say that,
Mhm.
But like last year was such a mad year that in a luckily I managed to get some stuff done, and by the end of last year I was kind of a bit burnt out. So the kind of just this start of this year, I've not been as active on social media really because I've kind of been getting everything behind the scenes done. I've been doing auditions for good projects.
Oh, cool.
I've been doing I've been getting stuff mixed a lot, and I've got 2 EPs coming. I've got an acoustic EP coming, and then I've got my kind of main EP coming, my second EP. So it's
Oh,
kind of
and
there's
on
so
those
much music.
EPs, are they EPs like of a collection of songs you've already released, or are these all brand new songs?
All brand new.
Oh, wow. You're
Yeah.
busy. Can I just tell you that I get material from other artists, but usually it's not as often, and it's
Yeah.
definitely not as good. So,
Oh,
and I get
I'll
to hear
take
from
that.
you, and for me to think, he just released a song like 2 weeks ago. He has another one, and then it's even better, and then it's even each time. And I'm like, how does this kid do this? So, and when I say kid loosely. Obviously, you're not a kid, but you did start off as a kid. You were 14, I believe, when you started recording.
Yeah, for sure. I was like, I basically started busking on the streets when I was 14, and that because I got kicked out of school.
Oh dear.
School was never really for me. Do you know what I mean? So got kicked out of school, and I started busking on the streets and making really good money. Like as much I started making like as much money as like my friends in real jobs were making. So well,
Wow.
I say real job. I
I
can't I can't be one of
know.
those guys.
Oh,
but but it was great. I started making good money, and I got a big fan base. A lot of people used to crowd round me busking,
wow.
and it was great. And then I started writing. I wrote my first song when I was like 16, I think. It used to be up on YouTube. I don't know if it is anymore, but it was called Our Love. It was up. You probably find it on YouTube.
I'm gonna have
So
to search. I don't think I've heard that
yeah,
one yet. That's a new one for me to search
yeah.
and
That's
explore.
16-year-old me. That's 10 years
Oh,
ago now. So
oh my
isn't that
goodness.
crazy?
So and I noticed all of the songs are kind of about love. So is that
Yeah.
our love about the same love throughout, or have there been different loves that you've been writing about?
Oh, I mean, to be fair, it's literally I write about what I'm going through at the time, really.
Right.
So pretty much like when I was 16, I thought I was in love, but of course I wasn't. But
Oh.
that was a bit mad. Yeah, pretty much. A lot of my songs are about love. I think the songs I've been writing more recently are kind of about I don't know. They're kind of. I'm moving into a space of kind of writing maybe slightly politically now,
Oh, okay.
because I mean up to the point of the pandemic, there like for me like as much as I'd experienced a lot of stuff and done a lot of things, love was the kind of was always the kind of drive for me in a way. I suppose love is the drive for most people. I suppose really
Yeah.
everyone's looking for love, right?
Oh yeah, there's a lot, a
um,
lot of songs written about that topic, probably more than
yeah.
anything else, right?
Yeah, oh for sure. I mean, if in a way, love is like the kind of main kind of. It's like the kind of chalice in life, isn't it? Because and loving always like you love from your parents, love from your friends, love from you,
Mm-hmm.
like finding like falling in love.
Okay.
So I think love is so prominent in such a kind of people want it, and
Yeah.
I suppose I was always like that, and I would always like write about a relationship I was in or things like that. But recently, I've got a few songs coming out. A song called "Burned Out," and then I've got a song called "Do You Feel Love?" And as much as that is still about love, it's more kind of a question like, "Do you feel love?" In this current climate of the fact that the governments
Ah,
don't really listen to us. You know what I mean? The
right.
governments don't really don't really like listen to the everyday person, you know.
Right.
They kind of like guys like Donald Trump, of course, like they just do their own thing and don't listen to the people really, you know. And
being
yeah, I
that
mean,
you're in Scotland as opposed to England,
yeah,
it's all part
yeah,
of the UK still.
yeah,
I know that you guys tried to leave the UK a while back. You had the
yeah,
referendum, and then you guys decided to stay. Now that England is, or the UK, I should say, is leaving the EU or has left or whatever, do you think that you'll be trying to get a divorce from
yeah.
the UK again, and take away your love from all of the other remaining Brits?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a weird one because Scotland didn't vote to leave the EU. And now what's
Yeah,
happened is because obviously Boris Johnson and the Tory government are just, I mean, oh, I could go into it for ages. They're
yeah,
terrible, terrible
oh yeah.
leaders. You know what I mean? They've handled the pandemic terribly. We went through a thing called austerity in the UK for
Mm.
under the Tory government, which was basically trying to save money and claw back money to kind of pay off our debt.
Mm-hmm.
And what that often involved was, I'm going very political here.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
I know, I know, I
It's
know.
okay, because you know what, your music's about it, and people think about it. For the next 2 or 3 years, we're going to be getting a lot of songs that are going to be about this topic.
Oh yeah, oh
So
for sure, for
it's
sure.
important to talk about how you're feeling about it and how it's come to be. So yeah,
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And basically, what austerity was the government trying to get back money. But what they did was instead of taxing like the billionaires and
Mhm.
the billionaire companies and taking money from those kind of places, what they would do was they would, for example, they would take money away from like disabled benefits, like people that were disabled that could, well, they would take money from them
Oh,
and give them less money and
oh my
stuff like
God.
that. Like just honestly, some of the stories you would hear are
Yeah.
terrible. But then all of a sudden, pandemic hit, and they found all this magical money
Oh,
that
right.
you know what I mean, which could
Yeah.
have gone. I mean, billions and billions of pounds. It could have gone to helping kind of homeless people and helping the poor people in society and
Mhm.
stuff like most vulnerable, really. So yeah, the Tory government are terrible. So
Yeah.
these next few songs are kind of about that, like, you know, like the system's kind of trying to do you over kind of thing, you know what I mean? It's kind of like kind of, yeah, that's kind
Well,
of
I
what those
feel
songs
like
are about.
whenever there's turmoil within a government or within, the people,
Yeah,
there seems to be a really great wealth of music that comes from it. Like the punk era
yeah,
was grown out of that. So
yeah,
I feel like there's going to be a really great growth of music and wealth of music that's going to come out of what's happening right now. So we're all
yeah.
going to be looking to you to kind of provide that. And I think, you're talking about this new EP. I'm excited to hear that. So I'm sure that there's going to be stuff on there that's going to address these things that you just talked about. And
Yeah,
going forward, I'm sure you'll have more. So don't apologize for being political. I think it's a good thing, and it's
yeah,
necessary. And
yeah,
people
but
turn
that,
to you. People turn, they turn to, I working in radio. I remember things would happen in the world, and they would call the radio station and ask the radio station what was going on. Like we had an earthquake.
really,
They would call at the radio station, was that an earthquake? And I'm like, why are you calling a music station? Because
yeah,
it's funny, they do turn to people, to the artists and to the people, and I guess we're considered media or whatever, but they do turn to us and ask us to kind of help them get through things. And they do use your
yeah,
music to help them get through things because they feel
of
like
course,
somebody else is going through the same thing and they're bonding with you on that. So I think it's
yeah,
a really good thing. And, so like I said,
yeah.
get all political, as political as you want. And
Yeah.
and of course you could still write the heartbreak songs. And
Yeah, of course. Listen, I mean, I'm always heartbroken, essentially.
yeah, and that's the funny
Yeah,
thing. It's like somebody like you. Okay, so I'm not trying to toot your horn, but I am.
yeah.
Somebody like you, how are you being the one who's heartbroken? You seem like you're the heartbreaker, right?
Honestly, well, that's very nice of you to say. That's very
Yeah.
nice of you to say. But I don't know. I feel like I've never really had much luck, you know,
Aw.
with girls. I don't know
Oh,
why. I feel like the problem is I often hold my heart on my sleeve. So if I love someone, I go in completely, and like my ex-girlfriend, I wanted to have children with her. I was like, I wanted it to be forever because I loved her so much. But then
Yeah.
she thought she was too young to properly settle down and commit something. So I was left alone. I was like, I thought that was going to be my life, you know, and then to kind of
Oh.
not be my life, it's kind of confusing. But that's happened a few times now. But
Oh.
I've actually been chatting to a lovely girl from LA, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is
So,
it me?
which is it could be.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
This just got interesting.
This
Um,
Love Island 2K21.
oh wow! Wait, from LA. Okay, so maybe she's been
Yeah.
listening to my show, and I've
You
been
know
playing
what?
you loads, and I've been saying how
Yeah.
awesome you are. So you have to give me a little credit, and I want an
Listen,
invite to the wedding.
you're my wing woman. I tell
Right?
you, you're sorting me out, Lisa. And I did actually send her a link to your show because the show we did last time on
Right.
KXFM.
Yeah.
I did. I sent her a link to that. So
Yeah.
I definitely sent her a link to this as well because
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, she's really lovely. Actually, we've been getting on really well. We've been chatting almost every day, and we're planning on. I want to bring her over here as soon as we can. I mean, with the travel restrictions, it's kind of might be a while, but
Yeah.
we've got a plan to. She's going to come over here, and we're going to go and explore Scotland together.
Oh, that's
You know,
sweet.
so
I've been to Scotland quite a few times. I've lived in the UK for over a decade, so I used to go up there quite regularly. And I had a lot of friends in Glasgow, particularly. But what I
wow,
found interesting about Glasgow was you would go see like the statue, like the old ancient statue in the town square, and it'd have a construction cone on its head.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
put up by one of the drunk people from the night before. And you don't see that literally anywhere else in the world. Like it just, you walk around and you're like, where did that come from? Like all sorts of crazy, just be prepared for crazy anyone who's going to go out to Scotland. That's all I can,
Yeah,
right?
of course. Yeah, of course. And I think that to me, I mean, people often think I'm a bit crazy, but I think if you're not crazy, then you're not fun.
No,
you,
no.
you know
I
what I mean?
know. Yeah.
You got to
And
have fun.
also,
You got to enjoy life and just
yeah.
take every moment as how as you got to make things exciting. So I don't know. I mean, whereas when I came to LA, I was pretty blown away. I think we have very different cultures, but well, slightly similar, but very, very, very different, but both great places. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I
They
mean,
are
I can see
different.
that. You know.
And also there's like you guys do joke a lot. You say a lot of things that are jokes. And
Yeah.
I know England does that too, but you guys seem to be a little bit more out there with your statements. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A little bit more nonsense or not nonsense, but things that just like you go, huh? And then you figure out a little bit later, like, oh, that was a joke. Like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. And it does take a while. So I do love exploring and going up there and just it's a different experience, that's for sure. And now, so you said you've come to LA.
Yeah.
When
I
did you
came to
come?
LA. I came actually, funny enough, I actually had such a great time, I had this dream, right, when I was younger, and I dreamt of being in a movie when I was older and walking down Hollywood Boulevard, right, and the
Oh,
stars, and I thought,
right.
once I do that, that's me made it, right? So that in my head, that was my dream. So
Yeah.
I did this film, the first film I did called Moondogs, and
Oh,
somehow we managed to get into this festival called the Newport Beach Film Festival. So
oh, nice.
I ended up going out there and I had the best time ever. Like I met all the amazing people and just like you guys are just so lovely. You're also lovely and friendly, and I
Yeah.
had such a good time. Made some great friends, and we came to LA for the day. And I walked down Hollywood Boulevard and I thought, this was one of my dreams. It's kind of played out differently than I thought it would, but I'm still walking down Hollywood Boulevard, like, and it's to do with a film. So I was like, well, that's me achieved one of my dreams. As much as it didn't feel like I'd gotten anywhere, I didn't feel like I was any more fulfilled. But and that kind of taught me that kind of dreams are what you make them. Do you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
can kind of make dreams whatever you make them, and you can achieve it if you really want to achieve it. You'll achieve it,
Well,
and that's why I was
what's the
there.
next dream? What's the next goal for you?
The next goal, oh man, I suppose over like the last year, my goals have maybe kind of changed a little bit
Hmm.
because like I'm like my goal is to be able, I want to look after my mum and dad, you know what I mean, more than anything. I want to be able to give them, like, pay off their mortgage or something like that, and give them good health care, that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? That's one of my goals for sure. My kind of career goal, I think, I would love to play. I'd love to play Madison Square Gardens at one point.
Oh, nice. Okay.
You know what I mean?
I do have people say they want to play either the Hollywood Bowl or Madison Square Gardens. Those are usually the two that are
Yeah.
you know, so yeah, I'll definitely be at the Hollywood Bowl show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that one.
For
I
sure.
love Madison Square Gardens, but New York's a little far for me. So Hollywood Bowl's right down the street. I'm going to do that one. So I'm going to make
for sure. Well, listen, either or.
Yeah. You know, okay, we haven't actually talked about your music because we've been going on about politics and girlfriends. So you have released quite a few singles already to date. So if anyone is going to go back and look things up, I want you to see these videos or hear these songs. On My Mind, Remember Me Well, Pictures, Dancing with Air, Homegrown, which is, I think, maybe my favorite. I don't know. They're all my favorite.
Nice.
When We Get Old, and then this current one is called This Road. That is a lot. When you've only been releasing things in the past year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And during a pandemic. So you can't actually go into a studio and record for 2 or 3 weeks because they're not open. So you've been doing all this stuff and putting all this stuff together on your own, videos included. So tell me what your process is, how you're doing this. Are you sitting at home writing on your own? Do you have collaborators? How do you do this?
So I've got a few friends that I really trust and I love, and I work with them closely. So me and my friend Matt Ingram, who played drums for Laura Marling, and he produced her as well. Me and Matt became very close, and he produced my first EP. Okay. So we kind of did that. I managed to get a small amount of time in between. No, I think actually I managed to do that just before the pandemic. And we planned on releasing in 2020, and then the pandemic hit. But we just thought, you know what, we might as well power through and get as much music as we can out there, because I mean it'd been such a long time coming. So we did that. I did a video in lockdown. I did a video for Pictures in lockdown.
That was beautiful. That's a beautiful video. Where did you film that?
Well, actually, funny enough, it was all used. The bits of me standing singing to the camera, I went down to the beach with my friend and I recorded that just straight the way through. But all the other footage in there is old footage from me and my ex-girlfriend. And it was really hard. It was really hard. I can't really watch the video now because she's the girl that Remember Me Well, Pictures, This Road, When We Get Old. Every song is about that girl, really. I kind of thought that all the footage, I really, because obviously I'm an actor as well, so I love filming things when I'm out and around. I love getting really beautiful shots of things, and she was a great model for that. Like I used to film really beautiful shots of her because she's an actress as well, and so that it all really fit together really well. Luckily, in the video.
What beach is that?
It's Troon Beach.
Troon Beach.
Yeah. Which is in the west.
Yeah, really nice. Where is it?
It's on the west coast of Scotland.
All right, okay.
So it's like an hour away from Glasgow.
It looks like it was a little cold, was it?
You know what? I think my version of cold and your version of cold would probably be quite different.
True.
Because, I used to go busking in it was like -2 or 3 conditions genuinely years ago.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
it's like 84 degrees today.
Is it? What?
And it's not like I'm in Australia and it's our summer. It's our freaking winter. And it's like it just never gets cold. So but the beaches are usually about 10 degrees cooler. So that's where we go to cool off. We go to the beaches to cool off, and it doesn't look like you guys need cooling off.
We definitely don't.
No.
It's pretty cold here quite a lot of the time. I mean, I feel like I feel the warmth quite. Like it doesn't take much to make me warm, because we're so used to the cold. But when I came to LA, I was like sweat the whole time. I was like, whoa!
You poor thing. I went to Tea in the Park Festival one year, and it happened to be like in the 70s, right? So people had seen the sun for the first time. I don't think there was one guy with his shirt on. Like the first thing, shirts off, first shirts off, like, oh, there's sun, I gotta take my shirt off. And I was like, oh my God, guys, really, you need to have your shirt on. But you know,
Yeah,
there you go.
that's a big thing in Scotland. As
Yeah,
soon as even like when it's like 15, when it's like 16 degrees here,
yeah,
people have their tops off.
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah,
So anyway, okay,
it's
so now quickly about your acting. You're in a series called Find Me in Paris. And is that still ongoing or is that done?
well, that I finished filming it all, but I think it's still being released throughout the world. I think series 3 is still coming out
Okay.
across the world. So yeah, I finished that about a year and a half ago now, and I've kind of just been focusing on a few other things. I've been auditioning for really great stuff, a great American show. I can't say what they are, but auditioning for really good things today.
You'll have to
which
tell me off afterwards. But
yeah,
no, and then you've done this other film that looks super cool and it has a really high concept. So tell me about that one.
yeah. So Knuckle Dust, I did that last year.
Yeah.
It's a nice wee small part I've got in there, but it's a really great film. My friend James Kermack, he directed it, and it's such a great film. It's about an underground fight club and a guy that escapes it, and the kind of things that unfold after that happens.
Oh, wow.
So it tells you the story of why that fight club came about. It tells you the story of why he ended up there. It's kind of like, I think it's if you like Tarantino films, I think you'll like it. I think
Do you fight in the film yourself?
I don't actually fight. I play an army man. So
Oh,
nice. It's a short but sweet
sweet.
character I play.
So, and
So
you're auditioning for another film, correct? Or is it TV show right now?
yeah, so it's actually a TV show I'm
TV show.
auditioning for,
Okay.
and it's a really great. I wish I could tell you, but I
Oh,
can't tell you.
oh.
But it's really great. But it would be really great to get. It's American.
How
So
about this? Can you tell me one little clue? Will you
sure.
have your beautiful Scottish accent, or are they going to make you speak like English or American?
American. So,
American. Can you do
yeah,
American?
yeah. Well, yeah. I can do American. Yeah. I mean, if I
Should I make you
sometimes I have to warm up. Yeah.
do it a
I mean,
little?
sometimes I have to. So yeah. So so what do you want me to say?
That was pretty good. Let's see. How about say, I know what you're going to introduce your single, "This
Yeah.
Road," with an
Okay.
American accent right now. But first, I want to say thank you for talking to me, and I'm looking forward to the new EPs. Do you have a name for the EPs yet, or is it still in the works?
So my acoustic EP is just gonna. I think it's just going to be called acoustic EP.
Okay.
I think my kind of my main EP is going to be called. I think I don't know. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't.
okay. So
It doesn't
it's something, and is it going to be like in the next couple of months or a couple of weeks or?
Yeah. So my acoustic EP is coming out in April. I think
Oh,
April.
okay. So there's a
Yeah.
little.
And then the next few singles are coming out for my mate. I've got my next song is coming out on the 13th of February, I think, or the 12th or 13th.
Okay.
And it's called Burned Out. And that's kind of what I was telling I was kind of telling you like how I felt kind of burned out. That's the kind of first political song. I'm gonna put the light on actually.
Okay.
That's the political song I've done. And it's kind of just about feeling a bit burned out, with
Okay.
everything that happened in 2020. So that, yeah, I'm excited to see what
Posted
people
you burned out just in time for Valentine's Day.
exactly. That's a really good point.
4,000 love songs, and you're doing burned out on Valentine's Day. I love it.
That's funny. I never thought of that. That's so
Yeah.
right. Well, maybe it will change. It will change my my Valentine's Day. Maybe someone will hear it and think, "Oh, I love him." I don't know. you know,
Okay, so
who knows?
all right, so we're gonna look out for burned out. But in the meantime, right now we have This Road, which is the current single that you are promoting right now. So
Yeah,
I'd like you to go ahead and announce that
yeah.
in your American accent.
Okay, okay. So let me just kind of find the right place, because a lot of times when you have to. Okay. Here we go. So this next single you're about to hear is my song called "This Road." I co-produced this song. It's the first song that I co-produced, so I hope you like it. It's about a toxic relationship. So I hope you enjoy, and thanks for listening.
No,
Right? Is that not bad?
okay, and now we're gonna play the song. How about that? So
Yeah, go for it.
I don't need to reintroduce it because that was perfect. All right.
Hey.